Hey guys, it's me Ram here and welcome to my complete series on how to one-look a 2x2. In this series, I'm going to be covering about 40 different cases you can get for your first face on 2x2 and showing you guys how I one-look those particular cases. This series is divided into 3 videos. Part 1 is where I will cover the basic inserts and some variations of these basic inserts. Part 2 is where I cover cases which have very specific tricks to them and will make one looking a lot of cases a lot easier. And finally, part 3 will cover some advanced cases that even I find difficult to one look and they don't even have any special tricks for them. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be covering a bunch of different cases, so if I haven't covered a particular case, it's either one of 3 reasons. 1. It's an extremely easy face to one look, like for example this 2-move layer right here. I'm not going to be covering how to one look faces like that in this video. Number 2, let's say I've covered a face like this. This white layer is extremely easy. I've covered it kind of like this. I'm not going to be showing you guys the righty version. Like you saw, it was a lefty insert and I'm not going to be covering a righty version of it as well. And number 3, there's no chance I've covered every single first face case on a 2x2 because there are just way too many of them. Any particular case that I may have missed may be just 1 or 2 moves off from one I've already covered in this series. So if you guys are still confused about a particular case, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm also going by the assumption that you guys know full EG because in this series I'll be using CLL, EG1 and anti-CLL examples. With that being said, welcome to episode 1 of how to one look a 2x2, basic inserts plus variations of these inserts. So you guys gotta start by applying this scramble to your cube. On this, we're going to be solving white, and obviously the most basic insert of all is just R, U, R prime. So that's how we're going to be solving this case. Here's how I visualize this case. The piece at the back right here is not going to move at all, so we've got one yellow piece here. The piece on the top left here is just going to slide over like it did a U move, so we have one piece at the back there. This piece here just slides up and over with this piece, and so we have a yellow here as well. And this final piece just slides over U R prime, and we've got this piece here as well, and it's a U case. So for the U cases, the pieces I used to recognize are these two and these two. I know they're not the best and not what JPerm teaches, but just bear with me. Like I said earlier, the piece at the back right does not move, so we have an orange here. The piece at the top here just slides over like it did a U move, and so we have a green over here. This piece will just slide up and over, that means this blue will just slide up and over, and we have a blue over here. And finally this piece slides like it did a U R prime, just over and down, and that means this orange is going to go from here to here, so we've also got an orange here. With this we've got it's a pure U case with headlights here. The same knowledge should also be applied to the lefty version of this cube, so follow this scramble on top. For this, we are going to be solving the green face with L prime, U prime, L. The piece in the back left does not move, so we've got a blue piece here. This piece on the top right here, it slides over like it did a U prime move, so we've also got one piece here. This piece at the bottom left facing us is just going to slide over like it did an L prime, U prime, up and over. So we've got a blue piece here as well. Finally, for this one, it's going to slide over like this and then down. So we've also got a blue piece here, and it's a U case again. Like I said earlier, I use these and these to derive what case I have. You can pause the video and try it if you want yourself, but anyways, let's just continue with this. So like I said, this piece in the top left does not move, so we've got a white here. Let's move on to this one. This is going to slide over just as if it did a U prime move, so we've got a yellow here. Let's continue with this one. L prime, U prime. So this piece is going to move up with an L prime and then a U prime, up and over. Finally, this piece right here is just going to slide over like it did a U prime and then an R prime. So we've got this yellow moving from here to here, over and down. So we've got white, yellow, yellow, white. Like I said earlier, it's a U case with headlights here. Similar to the RU prime insert, the RU prime R prime insert is also pretty common. Apply this scramble to your cube and follow along. So for this scramble, we're going to be solving green again. R, U prime, R prime. Anyways, let's start with this piece at the back right. It's not going to move. R will just push it back, U prime won't do anything, R prime will just bring it back. So we've got this blue piece by default at the back. Let's move on to this piece. I have it memorized that it just moves like it does an F prime move. So we have this blue piece here as well. Let's move on to this one. This piece will just slide over like it did a U prime move. So we have this piece here as well. Finally, we got this piece which will just slide up and over. R and then a U prime. So we've got this last piece here. And by this logic, it's an anti-Soon case. So the pieces I used to recognize an anti-Soon case are this, this and this. Let's start with this piece at the back right. It's not going to move like I mentioned earlier. So we've just got an orange piece up here. Let's move on to this one. It's just going to slide over like it did a U prime move. So we've got a red piece here and an orange here. Finally, for this piece right here, it's just going to slide over up and over. R and then a U prime. So we've got red, yellow, orange. And of course, as we saw earlier, the bar is going to be in the back. So we'll just do this case like this. We've got to apply the same logic to the left T insert as well. So just scramble your cube like this. Like we saw earlier, the piece at the back here is not going to move. So we just have a red here by default. Let's continue with this. It's just going to slide over like it did an F move. So this will just come up here. Let's continue with this one. This is just going to slide over like it did a U move. So it comes from here to here. So we've got a piece here as well. And finally for this piece right here, it's just going to go L prime and then U. Up and over. So we've got this piece at the back here as well. With this, we figured out it's an H case with these two here and these two there. The pieces I used to recognize H cases are just the four on top, these four. So like we said earlier, this piece at the back is not going to move. So we've just got a white here. Let's continue with this one. This piece is just going to slide like it did an F move. So we've got white here and white here. Let's continue with this one. This one is just going to slide over like it did a U move. So we've got white, white and yellow. And we've got this piece right here which just goes up and over. So L prime and then U. That means we have a yellow piece here as well. So we've got white, white, yellow, yellow. And of course the bar is in the back, so we can just cancel into the alg like that. Finally, for our last basic insert, we're going to be covering the RU to R prime insert. So follow this scramble on your cube. So if you guys haven't guessed already, we're going to be solving this green face like this with R, U to R prime. For this insert, what you've got to know is that the piece at the back here is not going to move. So we have a blue piece out here by default. Let's take a look at this piece. This one is just going to slide up and over. R and then U2. So we've got one piece here as well. This piece too will also do the same thing. R and then U2. Up and over. So we've got one blue piece here as well. Finally, for this piece right here, it's just going to go U2 R prime. The R move at the start will not affect it, so it will just go over and down. So we've got this as an anti-Soon case with the pieces here, here, here and here. For anti-Soon cases, the pieces I used to recognize are this one and this one. Let's start with this piece right here. R, U2, R prime. So we've got a yellow piece over here because this piece will just slide up and over. Let's continue with this piece. R will push it up here, U2 will also push it back and R prime won't do anything. So we've got a white piece here as well. So we've got yellow and white. Finally, this piece like we memorized earlier is not going to move. So we've got this one and this one that are opposite and this one is not. So this is just a regular lefty Soon. Similar to the RU to R prime insert, we've also got to apply a similar logic to the lefty version of it. So in this case, we are just going to be solving red with L prime, U2, L. You've got to apply this scramble to your cube and follow along. Just like we saw with the righty version of this case, the piece at the back here is not going to move. So we've got one orange piece out here. Let's take a look at this one. L prime will just push it up and U2 will just push it back here. So we've got this one that will go up and over, L prime and U2. So we've also got one orange piece here. Let's take a look at this one. L prime will just push it up and U2 will bring it over. So we've got one orange piece here as well. So we've got this one and this one. And with this we realize it's a T case. But let's also trace the last piece over here. This piece over here is gonna slide over with a U2 and then L. So U2 will just bring it here and L will just push it down. So we've got this one and this one. So for T cases, the pieces I used to recognize are this one and this one. So let's start with this piece right here. L prime won't do anything and it'll just slide over like it did a U2 and L like we saw earlier. So we've got one white piece over here. Let's take a look at this one. L prime will just push it up and U2 will just bring it over. So we've got white and blue. Like we saw earlier, it'll just move up like it did an L prime and then a U2. So we've got white, blue. Finally, let's take a look at this one right here. L prime will just push it up and U2 will just bring it over. So we've just got L prime, U2. So we've also got a yellow piece here. So we've got yellow, white, blue. And now that we know the bar is in the back, we can also do the case like this. Now that we've covered all the basic inserts, I'm not going to be tracing through the pieces twice. Once for the OLL and once for the CLL. I'm only going to be tracing them once and placing them accordingly. Also, for most cases, I won't be showing both the righty and the lefty inserts. I'll be showing either one, so you guys will have to figure out the other one by yourself. So now that we're done with all the basic inserts, let's move on to variations of these basic inserts. Start by applying this scramble to your cube and follow along. We're going to be solving this case with U prime and then just inserting it with one of the basic inserts, R, U, R prime. So how I have this case memorized is that this piece at the back here is not going to move. So we just have this piece and all its components here. This is because when you do a U prime, this piece will slide over here and R, U, R prime will just push it back to its original spot. So we just have one piece over here like that. Let's move on to this piece. This piece will just slide over like it did an R prime move. So this piece will just come down like this. Let's continue to this piece right here. This piece is just going to slide over like it did a U prime move because U prime will just push it back and then R, U, R prime won't affect it. So we have these two and this one, and by this we can deduce it's a T case, but I need all four stickers to recognize the CLL case for a particular T case. So let's also trace through this one. This is just going to slide up and over R and U, and by this we can deduce that this is a T case with these two stickers being the same. For our next insert, apply this scramble to your cube and follow along. So how we are going to be solving this case is just by doing an R2, U prime, R prime. So that's basically just an R into this basic insert. So how I have this case memorized is that this piece here is just going to slide up like it did an R move. So we've got this piece at the back here. This piece here is just going to slide over like it did a U prime. So we've got this piece here as well. This piece here is just going to slide up and over R and then F prime. So we've got this piece sorted as well. Finally, for this piece right here, it's just going to slide up to the top and do a U prime. So R2 and then U prime. So by this we've realized it's an OLL skip and it's going to be a last layer skip as well. Ooh, yep. So for the next case, apply this scramble to your cube and follow along. So for this we're going to be solving white with L2, U prime and then L, which is basically just L prime and then that basic insert. So let's start with this piece right here. It's just going to slide up like it did an L prime move. So we've got that piece covered at the back. Let's move on to this one. This one is just going to slide over like it did a U prime move. So we've got these two back pieces covered. Let's continue with this one. This one is just going to slide up and over, up to the top layer with an L2 and then a U prime. So we've got this piece covered as well. Finally, for this piece right here, it's just going to go U prime and then L. It's just going to go over and then down. So we've got this piece covered as well, and with this it's a Nicholas case and I can find a pretty cool cancellation here, but just no, yep, just goes like this, but just do that. For our next insert, apply this scramble to your cube. So for this we are going to be solving our face with R2, U2, R prime. So what we've got to know for this case, the piece here is just going to slide up like it did an R move. So we've got that piece covered. This piece here is just going to slide over like it did a U2 and then R prime. Over and down. So we've got these two pieces covered. Let's move on to this one. This one is just going to slide up like it did an R2 on the top layer and then do a U2 and just settle. So we've got these three pieces covered. Finally, for this one right here, it's going to do the same thing as this piece. Just slide up to the top with an R2 and then settle with a U2, and then the last R prime won't affect it. With this, we deduce it's an anti-swoon case with the pieces here, here, here and here, and these two pieces are the same and this one is opposite. For the next insert, apply this scramble to your cube. So how we're going to be solving this case is by just bringing this piece down and sitting this one on top of it, which is just L, U and L. So for this case, what you've got to know is that this piece over here is just going to slide over like it did a U move. So we've got this piece sorted over here. The piece at the bottom here is just going to slide up to the top like it did an L2. So we've also got that piece at the back sorted. For this piece right here, it just comes down and then corner twist this way. That's how you could visualize it. Or another way you can visualize it is that it just comes down with an L, gets pushed back with a U and then back down with another L. Finally, for this piece at the back here, it's just going to come down like it did an L move and then a U move. So we've got a T case with the stickers here and here. For the T case, I use these three stickers to recognize, and these two are opposite and this one is not, so I'll just do that. So for the next insert, apply this scramble to your cube. So I know there are a lot of good inserts here, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to be solving yellow with R prime, U, R prime. For this piece here, R prime, U, R prime will just push it over like it did a U move. So we've got this piece at the back here covered. Let's move on to this one. This piece will just slide over like it did a U and then an R prime. Over and down. So we've got this piece covered as well. Let's continue with this piece. This piece will just slide down and over, R prime and then U. So we've got these three pieces covered. Finally, for this piece right here, it's just going to slide to the top like it did in R2. So therefore, we've got it's a U case. For U cases, I use these four stickers to recognize, and when I see these two are the same, I know what case to do. So now we're down to the last two inserts, which are very similar to each other. Apply this scramble to your cube and follow along. So for this case, we're going to be solving white with F and then inserting this piece with a basic insert. So for this insert, the piece at the back here does not move. So we've got that piece at the back by default. Let's continue with this one. This piece will just slide over like it did a U move. So we've got these two pieces covered. Let's continue with this piece right here. This one will just slide up to the top layer like it did an F2 move. So we've got this and this piece covered. And for this last piece right here, it's a little bit tricky to trace, but how I visualize it is that it just moves up in the top layer with an F, and then it slides around the top layer with an L prime and then a U prime, just like the L prime U prime L insert we saw earlier. So now if we trace this piece, it'll just go up, over and over. So if you've traced that correctly, it's an L case with the yellow stickers here, here, here and here. And how I recognize L cases are with these three stickers. In this particular case, these two are opposite and this one is not. And the bar is in the front, so we'll have to do a Y2 rotation. And for the final case in this video, apply this scramble to your cube. So for this scramble, we're going to be solving yellow with F prime and then this basic insert L prime U prime L. So what you've got to know for this case is that the piece at the back here once again is not going to move. So we have that piece at the back by default. Let's continue with this one. This one will just slide up to the top layer like it did an F prime and then just slide over to the back with a U prime move. This piece over here will just slide over and down, so we've got this piece and this one covered. Finally, for this last piece right here, once again it's a little bit tricky to visualize, but how I visualize it is that it slides down to the bottom layer with an F prime and then just slides up with an L prime and then a U prime, just like we saw with the basic insert earlier. And so if we've traced that correctly, it's a U case with the stickers here and here. And for U cases, I use these 4 stickers to recognize a particular CLL case, and in this case, these two are opposite and these two are the same. And the bar is on the right, so we'll just do that. Now that's about it for all the inserts I'll be covering in this video. However, if you guys are still confused about a particular variation of a basic insert, I may just cover it in the next 2 episodes. And even if I don't end up covering the insert, it may just be 1 or 2 moves off. So you guys could probably figure it out. However, if you're still confused on how to one-look that case, please let me know in the comments down below and I'll try my best to respond. So that's about it for episode 1 of how to one-look a 2x2. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed and bye.